Auki ships a real retail spatial AI product with one externally documented pilot and an honest centralization posture. But the on-chain economic flywheel is small, and the 40,000 retail stores figure circulating in DeAI commentary is unsourced. Auki Labs is a Hong Kong-based spatial computing company founded in 2019. They operate two parallel, deeply distinct technology stacks that demand separate evaluation. First is Cactus, a B2B spatial AI retail product equipping employees with a phone, smart cart, or robot-mounted view of inventory via an AI copilot. The second stack is the Posemesh, the underlying decentralized perception protocol in closed beta, designed to power those tools. While both layers share the same founders, they do not currently share an economic reality. The success of the physical software does not automatically translate into on-chain value. To evaluate this system accurately, you have to suspend your assumptions and analyze the physical B2B product entirely isolated from the tokenomic protocol. On the retail floor, Cactus provides staff with a direct line of sight into the store's inventory. Using mobile devices, employees rely on an AI copilot mapping current stock. This 3D architecture stack starts with physical store hardware feeding data into the middle Posemesh layer. Here, domain and reconstruction servers turn customer scans into localized 3D maps. At the base, the Hagall network mesh ties it all together, syncing hardware with persistent spatial maps. The architecture works in practice, and the cleanest evidence comes from Sweden through a 4-month deployment at the Coop Stora Visby flagship. This data table details the pilot scale. Coop tested the software in a 5,000 square meter store, managing over 24,000 individual SKUs and dozens of employees. The deployment yielded concrete productivity outcomes. Staff reported a minimum of 15 minutes saved per user every day, and the system eliminated the need for one recurring daily shift handover meeting. These results pass the self-reported only barrier. ESM Magazine published an independent retail trade write-up of the deployment, verifying the efficiency gains. Auki's B2B spatial AI product works. It successfully saves measurable enterprise time in a verified high-SKU environment. Within the decentralized AI space, a specific number frequently circulates, a claim that Auki is actively deployed in 40,000 retail locations. That figure is absent from any official Auki publication. It most likely originates from an unrelated news headline regarding projected U.S. store closures, which was mistakenly conflated with Auki's pilot footprint. This descending funnel illustrates the reality. The top 40,000 store figure is completely unsourced. The verified number, published by Auki themselves, is a potential chain footprint of just over 6,500 locations. Auki includes an explicit caveat with that metric. Those 6,500 locations represent the combined total footprint of all their partner chains, and not locations simultaneously running active deployments. Large retailers typically run initial pilots across 3 to 30 locations before committing system-wide. Any rigorous assessment must acknowledge the active deployment count sits in the dozens. Treat higher figures as marketing. Evaluating the physical deployment is only half the equation. The on-chain reality of the Posemesh is documented in a 2023 smart contract audit from OpenZeppelin. This smart contract hierarchy visualizes the auditor's primary structural finding. The Posemesh operates as a centralized system, controlled at the top by multi-party computation wallets that dictate privileged roles down to the operational contracts. Auki Labs does not hide this. In their May 2025 community update, they openly acknowledged retaining significant central control over the protocol. While the Reconstruction server stack is open source, 90% of GitHub commits come from 3 contributors. Furthermore, the Auki token operates as an upgradable proxy on base, granting Auki Labs the power to change the contract implementation entirely and execute owner-controlled pauses. This level of central administrative power requires mature security operations. Yet in February 2026, the project suffered a Discord vanity URL hijack, indicating a maturity gap for an enterprise data network. This architecture dictates a specific risk profile. Investors and users are currently placing their trust entirely in Auki the corporation, rather than immutable, decentralized code. The Auki token incorporates a mathematical framework designed to manage its total supply, starting with an absolute mint ceiling of 10 billion tokens. This closed-loop flowchart illustrates the core mechanism. Every time an Auki token is burned, it triggers a mathematically smaller deflationary mint. This loop is mathematically designed to drive the total supply down toward a 5 billion equilibrium. The theoretical math of this mechanism is sound, but the economic flow to activate it is not. DeFi Llama data exposes the reality. Annualized network fees in the low tens of thousands are utterly dwarfed by incentive emissions operating at an order of magnitude larger. The critical bottleneck creating this disconnect lies with the Cactus software. The highly successful B2B product is billed strictly in US dollars. Because enterprise clients do not pay in Auki, the protocol's headline product fails to drive structural token demand or initiate the deflationary burn sequence. Despite the disconnect in value capture, Auki exhibits genuinely impressive token vesting discipline, a rarity for 2024 token launches. This chart tracks their allocation schedule. Every tranche sits on a daily linear vest, including an 84-month lockup for the Posemesh Foundation, deliberately lacking day one token generation event cliffs outside of standard market-making infrastructure. Auki's internal tokenomic discipline is excellent. However, a deflationary token mechanic cannot function if the core revenue-generating product circumvents the token entirely. Strategically, Auki maintains a specific cross-chain footprint, bridging the Auki token to the peak network via Layer 0 and trading directly on the Machine X decentralized exchange. Their strongest institutional asset in Web3 is a founding role in the Intercognitive Foundation, positioning them alongside networks like Peak, GeoNet, and Mawari. The verdict is straightforward. If you are going to bet on Auki, the company, because their multi-million-dollar B2B retail product definitively works. The Auki token thesis remains highly speculative. The network requires its protocol fee burns to grow by an order of magnitude before the supply mechanic actually compounds against market demand. In decentralized physical infrastructure, a project can simultaneously possess a credible retail product, a centralized architecture, and an unactivated token.